Would you believe me if I told you that there's a loan program right now that allows you to pull cash out of a rental property without income verification and without an appraisal? That's what this is. I'm going to do a deep dive A to Z on this program and how you can utilize it step by step to get to that next rental property or buy the next project, whatever you're trying to do. So my name is Stef, and I'm a top rated loan officer that helps investors get the financing that they need to buy the next deal. So this is what we call the no appraisal DSCR loan. Basically, you can get funded without an appraisal. It's designed for rental properties that are currently leased out. It's super fast and simple. There's an online portal, and it's ideal for investors who really want speed and they're confident in the appraisal's value, okay? They're confident in the property's value. So you can take cash out without waiting on the appraiser. There's no appraisal risk killing the deal. We find out right away. That's what I love about this program. So a lot of people ask me, hey, we'll spend 10 minutes on the phone talking through it, like the comps and the value. And I say, listen, honestly, it makes more sense to just fill out the portal and it'll tell us within 2 minutes if you even qualify, right? So what I like about that is a lot of DSCR loans, if you guys have ever tried them, sometimes with the appraisal, if it goes south or the appraiser doesn't see eye to eye with what you think the value is, it kills the deal. That's it. Deal's dead, right? Or any property purchase for that matter, right? If you're buying a regular house. And so with that, it kind of negates that and says, hey, this is what the value is. And whatever the system says it is, that's what it is, right? So all we need is title, insurance, and leases, and additional like letters of explanation if need be on credit pulls, whatever the case might be. But it just makes underwriting really simple. So here's how the loan actually works to qualify. The approval is based on the rental income or the lower of the two, right? So sometimes the system's going to give us the rental value and it's going to use your lease agreement. I normally use the lower of the two. Personal income and debt does not matter. Property does not need to have a strong cash flow, right? So you don't have to have a huge like rental income versus the mortgage that we're going to put on it. It just needs to cover the mortgage at least 1-to-1 ratio, right? So with that being said, an example of this is when we go into the system, I'm going to put your information in. Actually, we start on our end. You're going to get what's called the AVM values. What I like about this is it gives us, hey, this is what we think the system's going to pull that value direct. And like that's the appraisal, right? And then it does its property analytics is also going to give us what the rental AVM is, right? So in other words, hey, this is what we think the rental value is going to be on the middle. We have the low end, the high end, and it's going to pick a number right in the middle for this property, just as an example, okay? Now, as far as the loan terms and structure goes, because all that sounds great, but you're like, okay, but what are the actual terms of the loan? And is this like a normal DSCR loan? Believe it or not, these loans are actually pretty cheap. They're not super expensive for how easy they are. So it's a fixed rate, fully amortizing. They only do first lien position and is designed for long-term rentals, so not for Airbnbs or short-term, okay? And if you look at the terms here on our portal and our end, this is what we do. So when we set up your file in the first few minutes and you get approved, we get to this screen where we can select your rate and your rate lock. As you can see, you have different prepayment penalty options, as well as how long you can lock in the rate for. Normally, I like to do 45 days because it's the same price as 30. No need for 60. And honestly, we'll close in less than 30, ideally. Prepayment penalties, look here. Lowest rate, 6.5% rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage with a 5-year prepayment penalty. Now, you and I both know most of my investors aren't going to pay off their mortgage within the first 5 years, right? And if you are, of course, we can talk about that and change strategies, but normally they're not. And so they'll just take the lowest rate, right? So you can maximize your cash flow and not be underwater. And so what's really cool about this program is 6.5 is pretty good, guys. Like in this market for a rental property that does not need an appraisal and doesn't look at income, it literally looks at a fraction of the paperwork, highly effective. And then also if you enroll in autopay, you get a slight APR discount as well, okay? And here's the terms that we break down as an example. It's going to give you the lien payoff, amount of cash that you're going to get, right? Closing costs in this case is just a 2% origination fee with a notary fee and admin fee. So it's really streamlined, super simple. You see all the paperwork there, or you see all the terms, and we send it to you so you're aware of, hey, this is what we're getting, okay? So if you have any questions on this before I keep going, just book a call with me. We can help you get started and see if you even qualify for the property, because we have to see if your state allows for this no appraisal DSCR loan program, or if that doesn't work, we'll customize like a custom financing plan for you, okay? Moving on, because let's talk about the timeline, because you can say, Ben, that's great. Like I have an idea of the terms. We talked about how the loan basically works, but how quick is it going to actually close, right? So because the decision up front is quick, we know yes or no right away. and there's not a lot of third-party delays. So we have a title company in-house, right? We have your insurance company that you're using. And so as long as your insurance company gets us what we need quickly, everything moves pretty fast. It just boom, 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 1, 2, 3. And then we have a very streamlined process where you submit the inquiry, we confirm the initial offer, we set up the account that you want the money dispersed to, application, and we get your closing documents. Like, it's that simple. So this is the timeline. You can pause your screen if you want to look, but basically that's your A to Z. For eligible properties, because this is important, I mentioned everything about the terms of the loan, but what properties is this loan program actually allowed for? Because this is really important. So non-owner occupied investment properties only, okay? Single family condos, townhomes, and 2 to 4 unit properties. So you can get this up to a 4-unit property if you have one. Insane, crazy. First lien position only, remember that. So it has to pay off the first lien if you do have one. And the property cannot be in a foreclosure, okay? So for the states this program is available, remember, keep in mind it's still in beta testing, so we're adding on states as we go, but these are the list of states. If you want to pause the video, you can take a look there. And then there's one last thing I want to cover before we wrap up this video that is super important that you need to know when you are looking at this program, because there are some downsides to it. If you did a recent rehab, the property system is not going to know, of course, the value adds that you did. Like, how would it, right? So normally this program is good for, I would say, properties that you've owned for some years now. However, sometimes it still works. So you never know. Again, it's a soft check to start, right? So because it's a soft check, it's not a hard pull, it doesn't hurt to check it out and just see what the system is going to give you the value as, right? Because it takes us 2 minutes. So because of that, though, it's not also a DSCR HELOC. So keep that in mind. A DSCR HELOC, I made a video about that, and you can check it out here. I'm going to put in the description. But it's a program where if DSCR loans and HELOCs made a baby, that's what it is. So you can get a line of credit. This is not a line of credit. It's a fixed lump sum program. And some investors, they still want an appraisal. So, I totally get that. So if you do want an appraisal, we can just do a regular DSCR program. We're very good, very competitive with that. But for these, for no appraisals, just keep that in mind that you're not going to get it, right? And so it's, again, just want to harp on this. It's risk-free to apply. With a soft check, it does not hurt to see what you even qualify for. So if you have any questions, you can send me an email or book a call with me directly for now, and we can chat a little bit more about what rental properties you have, equity that you need, and how we can utilize that so that way you can buy the next property. So hope you found value in this. Check out my other videos on some of the more creative loan programs that most people don't know about. See you on the next one.